I'm Jessica Mikowski, mindset coach, co-founder of Yogi Triathlete, and host of the Awake Athlete podcast. Welcome to Season 6, The Road to El Cruce. This season is a living documentary, my journey to a 3-day 100K stage race through the wild terrain of Patagonia. It's not just about endurance training, it's about exploring the mental, emotional, and spiritual edges that shape us. There's no set schedule. Episodes will drop as the layers peel back. My hope is that in hearing my story, you remember your own strength and your own path home. This is me showing up in real time, and I am all in. I'm so glad you're with me. Welcome back to the Awake Athlete podcast. This is episode 11, the final episode before I head to Argentina for El Cruce. So the next time I sit down to record, I'll be on the other side of 3 finish lines. I will be on the other side of this experience, doing my best to translate something that can only truly be felt. You know, that's how to live life, through experience. And I remember many years ago when I did my first big trip to India, and I was wrapping up my day in my massage practice, and my client, an athlete, said to me, he said, you know, there's no good or bad, there's just experience. Go to India and have an experience. That really sat with me. Like, life is just a series of moments, and we cannot change or evolve through the intellect. Like, you can be really, really smart and you can be really, really stuck. You can be just changing to be the same. We have to step out and experience life, allow it to move through us and us through it. It is a beautiful evolution that we are here to experience. So please create that awareness to know when you're fighting for those limitations, when you're listening to that voice that wants to keep you the same. I did a whole episode. I can't remember what season it was, but the episode is like, are you changing to be the same? And to me, that's the most terrifying thing in the world, that I would just change to be the same. So follow those hits on your heart. Take the trip, write the book, start the podcast, have the conversation, say yes, and then let that yes be yes. And have experiences that can only truly be felt. Because the people who are really going to understand what I experience in Argentina, or what I have experienced in all of the things that I've endeavored in my life, are those who are doing it as well. And they really get it. And that's not the majority. So if there has been something ticking at your heart, it's time. What are you waiting for? You know, life waits for no one. So get out there and go do your thing. Whatever your thing is. It's not my thing. It's your thing. And that's how I live. I live in the experience of me. And I share that with an intention that it will inspire others to put their knowledge and their intuition into action in this life. But today, I'm here to wrap up the season, the training season, the healing season, the season of becoming who I am as I sit here now on the other side of this microphone, and to answer some powerful questions from listeners that feel like the perfect way to close this chapter. So where am I right now? I'm home. I've just come off of 2 intense, beautiful weeks. First, leading our Women's Wellness Adventure weekend in Sedona alongside my dear friend Jennifer, and then supporting and spectating at Ironman Arizona. We just threw down a podcast on the Yogi Triathlete podcast about BJ's experience there. So get over to the Yogi Triathlete podcast and check that out, because this man is unbelievable. He had his fastest Ironman ever in 23 Ironmans that he's done, fastest bike split. I mean, just amazing. In a super stacked field, like nobody was falling apart in his age group. So he ended up top 10 and and a huge dream realized. So really, really beautiful. And I arrived home the other day, Monday night, just with a full heart and an extremely tired body, but also just like this deep sense of clarity, this sense that the road to El Cruce is narrowing now, right? And the path is becoming a single lane leading straight into the Andes. 2 weeks from the moment I am recording this right now on Thursday, November 20th, I will be on day 2 of the race. And that just feels so wild to say. I was back on the trails this morning, just reconnecting with my footing, reconnecting with my breath, like just reconnecting with nature. Oh God, nature has been such a healer for me. It's just been so incredible. And I'm sure I'll get into that a little bit. But yesterday I got back on the bike to spark the legs with a little spice, nothing big, just enough to wake up the system after a period of travel and service. And from here, one final bump. Nothing crazy. Base miles are done. It's not the time to go big. It's time to stoke the fire, but not burn down the house. So I want to reflect a little bit on this season because, wow, I started this build on Monday, May 12th. And the truth is that the season, of course, started long before that because consistency has been my companion for decades. I came into this training cycle with a huge base, but I also came into it with a wide berth of respect for what this race demands. And I still don't even know to the degree of what it will demand of me. And I'm going to find that out step by step on these mountains, on these trails, and within this community that I know I'm going to walk away with some really beautiful friendships. So a race like El Cruce, like it deserves time and space and reverence. You cannot rush preparation for something that will ask so much of your mind and your body and your spirit. And I feel so good about how I held this space over these months. And this season has had everything. I've had sickness. I've had falls that took me out. I had travel that stretched and tested me. I had leadership weeks that filled my heart and completely emptied my tank. I also had grief, a lot of grief and a lot of letting go. My dad died in March. He died on March 8th, just hours after I crossed a finish line of an ultramarathon in Marin County in California. And it was a day where a lot of momentum came to a halt. I had run a camp. I had run a yoga adventure in Patagonia. I had spent time off the grid by myself in nature where I was feeling these last days of his life and these last weeks of his life. And in everything that was my dad was like, he let me cross that finish line. And it was intense. And that grief found me on the trail more times than I can count. And as recent as last week, when I was on the trail in Arizona, there have been so many long runs where I had to pause the watch and just sob. On a recent Yogi Triathlete podcast, I didn't tell this story on this podcast, but I told it on that podcast about something that happened to me when I was in Vail in the woods, a visit from my dad. And that's a really beautiful story. It's a meaningful story. It's a story that I'm not going to tell a lot. So if you're interested in it, get over there and find that episode. It was the last one we recorded. And, full body, just uncontrollable releases, just so much healing that has happened and just letting go and so much forgiveness that has happened and transpired over these months. And being in nature is such a wonderful place to open so that those things can move. And every single time nature held me, every time the trail absorbed what I could no longer carry. Nature healed me this year in ways that I didn't know needed healing, and in ways that were so obvious where I needed healing. And this journey has been so meaningful on a level that goes far beyond fitness. This season has been soul work. It has been deep letting go. It has been hundreds of tiny deaths and rebirths in the dust and dirt and sun of every single mile. And I want to honor that here. I want to honor this season. I want to honor myself for showing up with this level of truth and vulnerability. And I want to honor every one of you who have been walking this with me from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. All right, let's move on to some questions. This question comes from my husband. Thanks, Beej. What keeps you stepping into the unknown like this? And he's known me for a long time. I will actually be spending our 23rd wedding anniversary in Argentina by myself. He is not accompanying me on this trip, which is pretty much commonplace. We have a very solid partnership. We have a really beautiful marriage. We have many mundane moments as well. But we are individuals and we have our own lives. And I think that has been such a beautiful thing, is that I really need space to live my life. And I found a man that just so generously and naturally allows that space for me and trusts that I will be protected. And no matter what comes my way, I will be able to navigate it to the best of my ability. So thanks for the question, Beej, and thanks for the space, babe. Okay. The simplest answer to this question, what keeps you stepping into the unknown like this? Dharma. That's the truest answer I can give. It's like my purpose to live in this way. It's who I am. It is 100% what I am built for. If you look at my mom and my dad, that would make so much sense. And this is the pulse of my life. I have never fit inside of a box. Not once. When everyone else in high school knew their major and their college and their 5-year plan, I just wanted to see the world. I wanted to experience everything. I wanted to connect deeply with people, with the planet, and with something greater than my own life. I wanted to live big. I wanted to live awake, and I wanted to live against the grain. And that path has been beautiful and brutally hard. It has required millions of moments of nullifying doubt, of rejecting fear, of choosing excitement over panic, of choosing trust over scarcity, of choosing presence over chaos, and probably more so than anything, choosing me over any kind of need to belong. And it can definitely be a lonely road, but thank God for nature. Thank God for this podcast. Yeah, I can't step away from this way of living. It's the core of who I am, and to live any other way, as long as I feel this deep sense of purpose to stretch my wings and show people what is possible, and especially as a woman who travels by herself, to empower other women to do the same. To live any other way would be such an assault on my soul. So it's just who I am. It's my dharma. Okay, second question. How many miles invert each day? So El Cruce is roughly 100 kilometers over the course of 3 days. And I did do an episode on this when the stages were released. So go back for more detail on that. But essentially, day one is 31K and 1,600 meters of climbing. And it's funny because we always think about vert. We always think about the ascension, the climbing, but there's also descending that is happening here. And day one starts with a big ass climb. And it is technical, apparently, and it is steep. And I think that will go for much of the terrain over the 3 days. So 1,600 meters of climbing, and I'm going to say and descending, which is roughly 5,250. So basically 5,250 feet of climbing. And then I'm looking at the profile, looks about equal in descending. And then the miles on that day is 31K. So 19 and a quarter miles will be day one. Day two is 1,300 meters of climbing, which is 4,265 feet of climbing. Day two, relentless, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Nothing major as far as huge climbs, but just super relentless up and down. And then we've got 32K on day two, which is 19.88 miles. Okay. And then day three, we have 1,500 meters of climbing. Oh my God. Thanks for this question, by the way, Brenda. I'm oh my God, why did I think it was less than this? Okay. 1,500 meters of climbing on day three. That one has another big climb, which essentially just looks through 20K, almost maybe 18K. You're just climbing. You're just climbing. the whole time. And then it looks like a steep descent and then a flat finish, which is just going to be that finish line, infinite energy that you never thought you had. And then all of a sudden you're just like sprinting to the finish. So day 3 is 1,500 meters of climbing 4,921 feet. And we've got another 30K, 18.6 miles. So those are the 3 days. But go back earlier in the season when the stages were released, and I get into a little bit more detail in there on that. Yeah, each day is its own challenge, but the accumulation of the 3 is really what makes it profound. So I'm ready. I'm ready for it. You know, it's like I'll reset as best as I can, but I'm going to be carrying, you know, day 1's fatigue into day 2 and day 1 and 2 into day 3. And yeah, it's pretty exciting. And I love the challenge of sewing these days together. It reminds me of, you know, the mental piece of developing presence as a skill. It's like, how many moments can you consciously just sew together and live your life in the moment as opposed to living it from the subconscious mind and your patterns and your really efficient brain and neural pathways? Okay. And that leads perfectly into the third question. How do you prepare mentally? And this comes from, and I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, Vira or Viera. And she's actually an athlete of my friend Jennifer's. And she is an Ironman athlete that also incorporates yoga. Love it. So anyway, this question, the answer, it could be an entire season on its own. And I would say the answer to this question is the 6 seasons of the Awake Athlete podcast. So keep binging, go back and back and back. It's really cool with this type of mindset work that every time you listen, you'll take something new away because like you're growing and you're evolving. And so the things that you're ready for, you'll hear and you'll hear them with new ears, which is always, I think that's one of the addicting things I think about training my mind is like, there's something I could have heard for 10 years and then all of a sudden it just hits at a new level, you know, and you realize like, whoa, I'm living at a new level. It's very, very cool. But here's the essence, right? It's very, very simple. And that can be really difficult for overcomplicated minds, which is what we have. We have overcomplicated minds. We have minds that are addicted to drama and negativity and gossip and jealousy and blame. And the solution to it all is coming back to presence. Presence is a skill. It is a freaking skill. It is like a warrior skill, and it holds everything. Presence is where visualization lives, and I've been visualizing. It is where I nullify doubt, and I've had those thoughts. It is where I transmute fear into excitement, because I remember in my intellect that the body doesn't know the difference, and it has the same physiological response to fear and excitement. So I get to choose what that feeling is. And presence is where I connect with spirit, with God, with the universe, whatever that unique understanding is for you. For me, it's moved into God, something greater, this unconditional love that allows me to succeed and allows me to be an idiot sometimes, allows me to be kind. It allows me to have a closed heart. It allows me to live this life. And I hold an awareness that it's all getting me closer to that cosmic force, that God force. And, you know, with the force that is unimaginably bigger than me is really how I do this. Like that's where I go. So I can talk neuroscience and neural pathways all day long. But at the end of the day, for me, it's about knowing that the energy that creates worlds is coursing through my veins right now. And the truest part of me is that God, that universe. So for me, personally, training the mind is a very spiritual experience. But even if I'm going to come back to just logic and neuroscience, it's presence. It is absolutely being where my feet are. And when I am present, I can visualize. When I am present, I can book my rental car. When I am present, I can dream of my future. When I am present is when I feel my next goal coming and what that looks like. And I've kind of already got it, but I'm not going to release that just yet. It's the space where I navigate the middle of the night thoughts, like the what ifs, the can I do this? And I'm ready. Like I've had all of those. And it's the present moment is where I breathe, and I breathe clarity and not chaos. It's where I get calm. Calm is the beginning of clarity. It's not the other way around. We have that recipe wrong, you guys. Clarity does not bring you calm. Once you know, once you get the pay raise, once you get your season underway, once you heal your foot, then I'm going to feel like things are okay. You have the recipe wrong. It's as simple as that. Get calm. That is by far how I prepare mentally, is I sit in a reservoir of calm every single morning in meditation. And that calmness is available in the present moment. That calmness gives me clarity. That calmness gives me confidence. I mean, it doesn't give me anything. It's just all there. It's all there. And that calmness is that present moment, that moment that is actually outside of time, where nothing needs to be different. And this is the space, and it is a skill. It is trained, it is practiced, and it is earned. You have to earn the right to live from the present moment, to tap into that reservoir of calm and that limitlessness that is the essence of who you are. And yeah, I get fiery about this because I see people fighting for their limitations all the time. I see people choosing panic, doubt, negativity, trying to control their lives all the time, to not take the hit and follow something that involves risk and unknown. They try and control all the circumstances. And then maybe once everything feels safe enough, they'll step into it. But I say step into it and let life organize on your behalf. Panic, doubt, negativity, they're all choices, every single one. And the work of my life has been softening that fire in me, finding the groundedness beneath it, the compassion, the wisdom, and the balance where my real strength lives. And that has all been my mindset preparation. And I'll need every ounce of it out there in Patagonia. So yeah, it's coming. The reality of race day is here. And here at Yogi Triathlete, we refer to race day as celebration day. And it is a celebration. It's a celebration of our commitment, of getting to the starting line healthy, of our discipline. But that doesn't mean it's easy. And I've got 3 celebration days in a row. This will likely be one of the hardest things I've ever done. And I embrace that and I welcome it. And that's why I'm doing it. My mindset won't stop at the finish line. It will carry me into recovery, integration, reflection, and into whatever comes next. This is 24/7. This is 365. This is life. Training my mind and evolving and expanding and finding balance within my fire and my love. This is my life's work. Because the emotional landscape starts as a roller coaster, right? But it eventually becomes these gentle hills. And what is changing that roller coaster to gentle hills is me and how I navigate life. Because when we stay awake, triggers lose their bite. And when we choose calm, clarity rises. And I am here for all of it. So, okay. This is the wrap. This is episode 11. This is the closing of one chapter before the next one begins. I will be back after the race to recap it all. But thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for witnessing. Thank you for letting me show up real and human and awake and raw. Thank you for walking beside me on this road to El Cruce. And thank you to the Yogi Triathlete and Awake Athlete communities, the heartbeat of everything I do. You are the magic. You are the reason this work is so alive within me. I'll see you on the other side of Patagonia, and I cannot wait to share what the Andes reveal. Until then, stay awake, stay present, and keep stepping into the unknown. This show is brought to you by Yogi Triathlete, because you were born for more than just pushing through. We've been leading the way in holistic performance since the beginning, body, mind, and spirit. So thanks for tuning in. Stay awake, stay the course, and I'll meet you back here soon.